Welcome to this edition of Diligence Inside America's Boardroom. I'm TK Kerstetter, and I'll be your host for today's show. We're going to be talking about a topic that we've wanted to cover for a while. We've made reference to this, but haven't really addressed it specifically. And that is talking about virtual board meetings and boardroom communications. Are you safe or are you sorry? So joining me to talk about that is Amanda Carty, who's the CMO of the Diligent Corporation. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, TK. Thanks for having me. And I think at Diligent, we're definitely hoping it's more on the safe side.
I think certainly the companies feel the same way. So what's interesting is even before the coronavirus sort of started attacking country by country, we certainly saw a movement of boards to be more virtual, to use board technology, to do all the things that made their lives more efficient, which is certainly the goal of the corporate secretary, CISO, and the board itself and management. So, one of the reasons I wanted to cover this is I am repeatedly concerned about the number of board members that seem to be using their personal email to have board discussions, or worse yet, send sensitive information through these, sort of consumer solutions, and ones that aren't nearly protected like a corporation, or more importantly, like a board portal might be. So nothing makes this, to get my point across, nothing can make this clearer than the example that I want to provide, that is about Colin Powell, the former Secretary of State, who sat on the board of Salesforce. So in my mind, he experienced a board member's worst nightmare, okay? Because his personal email was hacked, and that was made public. And when he woke up one morning, he found all this confidential information from his Salesforce board was plastered across the Wall Street Journal.
Yep.
Now, to make matters worse and more humiliating for both him and the company, is one of the things that was displayed was a confidential slide deck that showed all of the M&A targets that Salesforce had identified. So you can only imagine how upset both the company
Yeah.
and Colin Powell was in that experience. Now, that happened in 2016, okay? We have seen, I could still give you, tens of examples of directors who have been equally hacked and equally humiliated by the fact that this stuff was made public. So, for the purposes of this web show, what is the best practice? Okay, what solutions are offered in this communication from director to director in board technology? And I know you can't speak for the other board portals out there, but what is Diligent's solution to make sure that this risk is mitigated?
Yeah, this is obviously one of the biggest areas of risk for a board member and for an organization. And even pre-COVID, there's even a survey from 2018 from Forrester, which surveyed directors around the globe, where 56% of them were using their personal email to communicate about private board matters. So again, a huge issue even pre-COVID, and now is even bigger in the world we're in today. And we look at the tools that I know that from a Diligent perspective that we have is a secure communication and collaboration platform that is encrypted in the cloud. And that goes from a messenger application where you can have private conversations just like you would a text message or even a Slack message, but encrypted in the cloud, where you can talk about matters related to M&A, any kind of board turnover, issues with employees, CEO compensation, furloughs, or layoffs. And those are some topics that require private conversations. So we have a tool that allows to do that. But what we're seeing also is on the board materials. Don't be sending board materials over email. Make sure you're using a secure platform to send those materials.
As we said, even though there was some movement to virtual, with the COVID-19, it's like pouring fuel on the fire. I mean,
It is.
literally everything has turned into virtual. Annual shareholder meetings, board meetings, committee meetings, and also not to be forgotten is senior management meetings.
Yes.
So we know that the video conferencing is not secure in its own right, okay? But there is a solution to sending sensitive documents and things through technology. So talk a little bit about, again, what's available on that, because I think, again, in this new virtual world, that's very important.
Yeah. So we can't control which video platform organizations use around the globe, but what we can do is ensure that those details are shared securely and safely. So we pivoted very quickly with our product roadmap and introduced the ability to share the links, the dial information, all within our board solution. So there's not even you don't just go to your email. You just go right to the board's application and click join, and you're right in your meeting very securely. So we were very, very quick to do that. But I would say, TK, something else we're also seeing from our customers is the need to take this beyond the board. So the management teams are also coming to us and being able to quickly deploy our tools and our solutions for their management teams so they can have confidential meetings and private meetings very securely. They're dealing with a lot of hard topics right now, and they can't be discussing them over Slack, like the marketing team would be doing over marketing programs. So I think what we're seeing is the need not only to be protecting at the board level, but making sure also the management teams, the executives are also communicating very securely in this new virtual world.
Well, again, those documents are the very things that you don't want somebody to hack into. So if you can have a method for doing that, and I assume the method within your solutions or within your portal is manageable. Like there's somebody that's going to be managing the information, what you keep and stuff like that. Is that accurate?
It is true. So we work very closely with the corporate secretary, general counsel to set up how long documents or information may live within our systems. It could live 7 days, it could live a month, it could be wiped immediately. So there's different settings we allow the company or corporate secretary to set up within the application. And even for this new virtual world, it's taking everyone by surprise, and everyone's trying very, very hard to deploy these. And so we are working with these individuals on a regular basis. We're having webinars where we're getting thousands of people to attend, so we can walk them through kind of back to the basics on the technology and to make sure they're set up and secure.
So I almost don't want to ask this. I don't feel we should have to ask this question, but unfortunately we do, and that is, what should a board member do if they find themselves in a situation that they know that they're placing themselves in this vulnerable situation? Or what should a director do in that case?
Yeah, I would say it's going to happen, and it's going to happen by accident. I don't think anyone's intentional about putting themselves in that kind of situation. I would say contact the CISO of the organization you're with as soon as possible. Raise that flag so they can handle it. And if you see a fellow colleague, peer, board member doing it, just raise it to them. Everyone is working very quickly, maneuvering very fast in this new world. And I would say just politely call them out on it and let them know that they need to address it.
Yeah, it's certainly a time that they can't be silent or just accept it. There's just too much risk in those situations today. Well, Amanda, I want to thank you for taking the time for joining us this morning. This is a topic and a warning that I've been giving for some time, but we never really dug down deep into this. So I appreciate you passing along that information.
Thanks for having me, TK.
Yeah. And that will conclude this edition of Inside America's Boardrooms. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week when we take another look at a critical topic that'll help you be a better board member or committee member. So we'll see you then.